Hello there. Alright, so Obi-Wan episode 4, and I gotta say, sometimes before the episodes I do take a little gander at what people have been saying about it, because I'm usually at work on the day Obi-Wan comes out, so sometimes I'll have a look in little comments or have a little look at IMDb to see what people are thinking about the episode. And it seems people were pretty mad about today's episode, some pretty negative reviews. It's more of people being fed up with the lack of progress in the show. And I think this episode was almost like a final straw for them, even though there is 2 more to go. They were kind of like, ugh, it's not doing what we want it to. However, I thought this episode was fine. It's not like it was a huge misstep for the series, because I think it's been doing this from the start. I think it's just people are getting fed up of the fact that this wasn't the show that we were hoping for. This is not an Obi-Wan show. This is not about him or his feelings or his trauma. This is just a show that has him in it. And this show is suffering because it doesn't have him as a lead character, and it doesn't have Vader as a lead character. They just feel like 2, side characters in a show about side characters. Let's talk about, obviously, today's episode, the episode itself. It was pretty short. It was like just under 30 minutes, pretty much, and I'm not a fan of these inconsistent episode lengths on a week-to-week basis. This isn't the only show that does it, but, you get some weeks where an episode is 50 minutes, some episodes are 30 minutes. I think week to week it's just not ideal. Like, why not just make every single episode like 40-45 minutes just so it's consistent? Like, shows always used to do that. Now they just sort of freestyle, like, we want to do more in this episode, we don't want to do as much in this episode. So it's just a lottery of how long the episode length is going to be. But yeah, this episode was fine. I did enjoy the combat stuff with Obi-Wan. It was nice to see him use his lightsaber for more than 2 minutes for once. I thought that was cool. But I wasn't really that interested in the side stuff with his spy friend who's getting him into the base. And, this whole story, this whole episode was just very rushed. It's just like he's in the back of the tank and he's like, yeah, I gotta bounce. And then he's just in this base. Like, it was pretty rapid. Leia and Reva, again, not really of interest to me, but I do see potential in Reva. I kind of have from the start, even though I was doubtful. I just feel like she's being wasted. I wanted a real drama between her and the other Inquisitors, and the Inquisitors and Vader. I feel like they could get a really interesting story of these like angry Sith that really want to outdo each other and really thirst for power, and it just doesn't really feel like that. So yeah, the episode was fine. I think it was entertaining enough, but also not that entertaining. It was just fine. Like, it's watchable. It's not very rewatchable though. And honestly, I have a bit of an issue with the way it ended, and I think that kind of links to the series as a whole, which is like, it feels like it's making no progress. Episode 5 will once again start with the Inquisitors trying to get Obi-Wan, something they've been trying to do since episode 1. Now, the only difference is now they have a tracker on him, but either way, it's still the same objective. It's still Inquisitors looking for Obi-Wan. It's still Vader wanting Obi-Wan. So what is changed? It doesn't feel like there's been any real character progression or evolution. It just feels like the whatever you want to call it, the target, the goal is exactly the same as it was in episode 1, and no one is any closer to really reaching their own personal objectives. We're 4 episodes in and the character development has been poor. The use of Vader and Obi-Wan has been poor. My gripes today are kind of with the series as a whole, not the episode itself so much, and I think that's kind of the way it seems a lot of other people are feeling. Like, they're annoyed at the episode, but they're also annoyed at the 4 episodes. They're annoyed at how this series has progressed and actually how it's lacked in progression. It kind of feels like whoever wrote this has no real passion for Star Wars, especially Obi-Wan, and they've got not much knowledge of it, or they just don't care that much, or all 3 of those things. I don't know. I just think if you talk to any Star Wars fan, especially like a prequel fan as well, and you said to him, listen, we're going to make a story about Obi-Wan. It's set 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. What are you going to make the story about? People would make up some fucking awesome stories, amazing shit. Would anyone even come up with the plot that's been chosen for this show? I don't think they would. What it feels like is someone has watched like the original 6 movies, they're not really that into it, and then they've gone, okay, so Obi-Wan's going to be a bit older. Actually, Leia will be, she's like 10 years old. Maybe we should have her in it, like just because, she's a character that exists in this universe. I don't know, it doesn't feel like it's being made by a fan. Unlike The Mandalorian, which is clearly being made by fans. Based on this, along with the Book of Boba Fett, I kind of fear Star Wars just may be done at this point. They'll be churning more and more out very soon, and my interest is already fading, as it is with Marvel. That's just, I'm losing hope in that as well. I'm losing hope in Star Wars because it's becoming what Marvel is. It's just going to be something they're going to fucking milk till it's just dead. There's nothing left. That is what they're doing. And because all they do is tell stories between episode 3 and 4, like, fuck me, do something original. The reason The Mandalorian was so good was because it was a new character. They are doing nothing original anymore. They are just grabbing characters, reusing them. Anyone who was in an animated show, okay, let's put them in live action. Like, that's all it is anymore. I don't hate the Book of Boba Fett. I don't hate Obi-Wan, but I'm also less than impressed with those two things. They just don't, I don't feel a sense of passion like I do with all the other Star Wars that came before. I'm just like, it's okay. But, you know, it's not exactly keeping my grasp and my focus on Star Wars. It's just making me think, okay, we've already had the good stuff. Everything else now is just going to be kind of mid. I could go even more in depth and just continue to rant, but, you know, we still got 2 episodes left, so maybe this show can pull something out the bag and just put out some awesomeness. You know, just take some risks, have some lightsaber fights, do some cool Sith shit, like Force Lightning, I don't know, just throw something cool into these last couple episodes, because it's just been build up and this drama that isn't really that interesting. I just want to see some fucking fighting. I want to hear some epic John Williams Revenge of the Sith music. I want to see some cool stuff. I want to be entertained. So far, you know what I mean? It's like, it's exciting when anyone even ignites their lightsaber in this show, because it barely happens. It feels like you're just wanting them to just start slashing at each other. It's oh god. Either way, today's episode, 6.5 out of 10. It was pretty standard. It was pretty basic. It was pretty meh. I don't know. I hope these last 2 episodes can do something fun, but we'll just have to see. If you've seen it, let me know what you think about it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.